Hey folks, in today's Conundrum we will cover the case of Makaja, Big Harpe, and Wily Little Harpe, infamous American murderers, highwaymen, and river pirates operating in the late 18th century. They are considered the earliest documented serial killers in U.S. history. After being loyal to the British Crown during the American Revolution, they turned to a life of crime, robbing and killing settlers in the frontier. They are believed to have taken the lives of 39 people, possibly even 50. As their crimes gained notoriety, vigilante groups sought justice, leading to their eventual capture and execution around the turn of the century. Their savage acts have become part of American folklore, revealing a dark bloodlust behind their actions. Welcome back to Conundrum, where we delve into the minds and history of serial killers. If you like this type of content, please like the video, subscribe if you are not yet subscribed, and ring a notification bell. Stick to the end of the video for more information about ongoing giveaway. Thank you for being here. The early life of the Harpe brothers remains shrouded in mystery and legend. Historians struggle to separate fact from fiction due to limited records from that time. They are believed to have been born to Scottish parents in what is now Orange County, North Carolina. Makaja, possibly born before 1768 as Joshua Harper, and Wily, possibly born before 1770 as William Harper. While they are commonly referred to as brothers, some suggest they may have been first cousins who emigrated from Scotland in the late 1750s or early 1760s. Their fathers, John and William Harper, settled in North Carolina during the early 1760s. The Harpers were Calvinists and loyal to the British Crown. Before the American Revolution, their fathers may have served in Tory militias during the War of the Regulation, a conflict against British colonial officials. When the Revolutionary War began, the Harpes' fathers sought to join the Patriot forces, but were denied due to their earlier connections to British loyalists. This rejection and mistreatment by Patriot neighbors likely fueled the Harpe brothers' feelings of persecution and desire for revenge. Around 1775, the Harpe brothers left North Carolina for Virginia, seeking overseer jobs on a slave plantation. Big Harpe later traveled with two women, Susan and Betty Roberts, and had children with them. Little Harpe married Sarah Sally Rice, the daughter of a Baptist minister. The early years of the Harpe brothers set the stage for their later notorious deeds, leaving a legacy of mystery and violence that would echo through history. During the American Revolutionary War and the American Indian Wars, the Harpe brothers, part of a Tory outlaw gang, engaged in a series of ruthless actions. They joined a predatory loyalist rape gang, terrorizing North Carolina with acts of violence, theft, and murder. Serving as military associators without official support, they survived by looting and robbery. In 1780, they participated as irregular loyalist militia in the Battle of Kings Mountain under British command. Later, they fought in other battles, including those led by Lieutenant Colonel Banastre Tarleton's British Legion. Following the British defeat at Yorktown in 1781, the Harpes fled to Tennessee, joining forces with the renegade Chickamauga Cherokee. They launched attacks on frontier settlements, causing havoc and kidnapping several individuals. For nearly a decade, they lived among the Chickamauga before relocating to Powell's Valley, Tennessee. They concealed their Tory past by altering their surname from Harper to Harpe. The brothers' exact whereabouts after 1795 remain unknown, but in 1797, Wily Harpe married Sarah Rice, as recorded in the Knox County marriage records. Their actions during this period left a trail of violence and fear in the early American frontier. During 1797, the Harpe brothers embarked on a reign of terror, leaving a trail of horror and devastation across Tennessee, Kentucky, and Illinois. Infamous for their brutal and sadistic methods, the Harpes later confessed to the killings of at least 39 people, but it is believed that the combined total, including unknown victims, may have exceeded 50. Their crimes were of such extreme nature that it became challenging to fathom the depths of their cruelty. They engaged in heinous acts, including mutilating bodies and killing without any provocation whatsoever. It was reported that they butchered anyone who crossed their path, showing no mercy, not even to innocent babies. The magnitude of their atrocities drew significant attention. and the authorities were determined to put an end to their murderous spree. In April 1799, the governor of Kentucky, James Garrard, took decisive action and issued a reward of $300 for the apprehension and deliverance of the Harpe brothers back to Danville, Kentucky, to face trial for their crimes. However, the Harpes proved to be elusive adversaries, cunningly evading capture time and again. Fleeing northward from Knoxville, they continued their vicious rampage through Kentucky, leaving a trail of death in their wake. The Wilderness Road near the Cumberland Gap witnessed one of their murderous acts as they allegedly killed a peddler named Peyton, seizing his horse and looting his goods. In December of the same year, they brutally murdered 2 travelers from Maryland. Following this, they became the primary suspects in the killing of John Langford, a man traveling from Virginia to Kentucky, whose body was discovered. A local innkeeper provided information to the authorities, leading them on a pursuit to capture the ruthless criminals. The Harpe brothers' capture seemed imminent when they were eventually jailed in the state prison in Danville, Kentucky. However, their dark and sinister cunning prevailed, and they managed to escape, leaving death and destruction in their wake. In an act of vengeance against those who dared to help the authorities, they killed the young son of a man who had assisted in their apprehension. Seeking refuge, they made their way to the notorious river pirate stronghold Cave in Rock on the Ohio River, where they joined forces with the criminal gang led by Samuel Mason. Even among these notorious outlaws, the Harpes' atrocities proved too much to bear, and they were eventually forced to leave the cave by Mason himself. Their murderous spree did not halt there. They continued their killing spree upon their return to eastern Tennessee. As they left a trail of terror and devastation, more victims were discovered, each death seemingly more horrifying than the last. From disemboweling victims and dumping their bodies in rivers to slashing throats and mutilating bodies, they showed no remorse for their actions. In August 1799, the Harpes' malevolence reached its peak when Big Harpe cold-heartedly bashed his own infant daughter's head against a tree, simply because her crying annoyed him. This act would later be the only crime for which he would genuinely express remorse. The brutality continued unabated. When given shelter at the Stiegel home in Webster County, they committed one of their most chilling acts. They not only killed an overnight guest named Major William Love, but also slit the throat of Mrs. Moses Stiegel's 4-month-old baby boy when he cried. Mrs. Stiegel's horrified screams brought about her own demise, as the Harpe brothers murdered her as well. The Harpes' reign of terror seemed relentless, leaving communities in fear and anguish, unsure of when and where the next act of brutality would strike. The $300 reward on each of their heads served as a testament to their notoriety, and their ruthless killings evoked shock and horror among the populace. The Harpe brothers, notorious for their brutal crimes, had distinct physical appearances. Micajah Harpe, also known as Roberts, stood at around 6 feet tall with a robust build, aged approximately 30 or 32. He had a downcast, ill-looking countenance, and short black hair that came down his forehead. His face was full, and he typically wore a striped nankeen coat, dark blue woolen stockings, drab cloth leggings, and trousers. On the other hand, Wiley Harpe, also known as Roberts, had a meager face with short black hair, not as curly as his brothers. Despite appearing older, he was actually younger than Micajah. Like his brother, he had a downcast expression. Wiley typically wore a coat similar to Micajah's, along with a surtout coat over the close-bodied one, dark woolen stockings, and drab cloth leggings. The Harpes' reign of terror lasted until August 24, 1799, when they were finally tracked down and confronted by a posse led by John Liper. Micajah Harpe was shot in the leg and back by Liper, and ultimately subdued with a tomahawk. He confessed to 20 murders before his life came to a gruesome end. As he lay dying, Moses Stiegel, a member of the posse, cut off Micajah's head, later spiking it on a pole at a crossroads, creating a grim and lasting reminder of their horrific deeds. Wiley Harpe managed to escape the confrontation and rejoined the Samuel Mason gang at Cave in Rock. 4 years later, he was captured but went unrecognized due to using an alias. Along with another gang member, they claimed the bounty on Samuel Mason, but were quickly arrested for their own crimes. In January 1804, Wiley Harpe and his accomplice Peter Alston were executed by hanging, and their heads were displayed on stakes along the Natchez Trace as a warning to other outlaws. The Harpe women, once freed from the brothers' influence, led relatively ordinary lives. Sally Rice Harpe returned to live with her father in Knoxville, Tennessee, while Susan Wood and Maria Davidson lived in Russellville for some time before moving on. The Harpe brothers' chilling legacy continues to inspire various works of popular culture, from books and plays to television and film productions, ensuring that their dark and terrifying tale remains an enduring part of American folklore. Their gruesome legacy paints a vivid picture of the darkest depths of human malevolence and serves as a chilling reminder of the capacity for cruelty that can lie within the human soul. The Harpe brothers' names have become synonymous with brutality, forever etched into the annals of history as the earliest documented serial killers in the United States. Thank you to all who have stuck with me until the end of the video. All small creators like me have certain goals in mind when we embark on this journey, and reaching 1/4 of that goal is my first significant milestone. Since we all share a common interest in similar topics, my idea is to organize a giveaway for a 1-year Curiosity Stream subscription plan once we reach 250 subscribers. This giveaway will serve as a token of appreciation for your support thus far. I'm genuinely grateful to have you all here with me. Comment down below if you have any recommendations for my future uploads. I am Alex, and this was Conundrum. Stay curious and stay safe.